Hey, Jay with Rocky Mountain. Today we're going to give you some tips on installing a FMF pipe. This bike is a Sierra 450 2013, very similar to what you would do on any of the 09 through 13 Sierra 450s. Pretty simple deal. FMF's very nice quality pipe, and we're going to install it in this bike right now. Okay, start by removing our seat and two side number panels. Now we're going to loosen the stock clamps. There's three of them, one at the mid pipe and then one at each of the tail pipes. Remove the mounting bolt and the mufflers will come off. They have a stock gasket that holds them fairly snug and you just work them right out. We're going to do the same thing to the other side. So you can remove the mud flap by two simple screws with a Phillips screwdriver. You probably don't have to. It's a whole lot easier with it off, out of the way.
This thing is...
Okay. So after removing all the mid-pipe mounts, we can remove the whole mid and tail section. The stock clamp's a little tight, fitting in between the shocks, so you have to wiggle it through to get it out. With a 12mm T-handle, you can remove the two nuts right at the cylinder head. Okay, so the stock flange can sometimes get a little bit bent, and so it can be difficult to pull off the stock studs. So you might need to pry it a little bit. The stock gasket is still there. It's a crush like brass washer. It still looks to be in good shape, so we'll just reuse that gasket. Okay, so at this point, it can be good to get the springs started on the flange before you put it on. It can be difficult to get them started sometimes, and sometimes they want to fall off on you. So you want to kind of work them in there, get your nuts just barely started or so, and then you can pull the springs to get them hooked onto the head pipe. You hold it in place while he tightens up the two nuts. And you just want to get them about 3/4 tight at this point, just to get everything, so you can get everything started and lined up. So we're not going to tighten them all the way down. If you tighten them all the way down, you probably won't be able to line up your mid and tail pipes. So now we just tighten right here, and you don't want to over tighten because you can bend this aluminum flange pretty easily. It doesn't need a lot of pressure. Just get it snug, and you make it even on both. You can see that there's an even number of threads sticking out from each side, and you kind of want to make it even on both sides. Go back and forth between the two different sides as you tighten it up. So now with the FMF, there's no gasket in between. It's just a metal to metal slip fit. So you just got to make sure you can just wiggle it on into place, and then you'll line up your mid mount and get that bolt started. And you just want to get it maybe halfway, 3/4 the way started, so you can still work with everything else. So after the midsection, the tailpipes just drop right on. Just slide them on and use your stock bolts. Pretty simple deal in this case. When there are other bolts required, FMF will supply the other bolts, but in this case, all the stock bolts are retained and used. And you want to push the cans as far forward as you can usually, and then tighten up. And we're going to start at the back. Now we can tighten these all the way and move our way forward. So we're going to tighten up both tail sections, mufflers, and then tighten up the midsection, and then tighten up our head nuts. Tighten up those nuts, and we just want to get them good and snug. You don't want to over tighten these things because you can misshape this flange pretty easily. It's an aluminum flange. It gets really hot.
No, you don't do it in that nut. It ain't coming.
It sucks, yeah. That inner collar.
You can't.
You're right. Oh, that would work fine. Come on. So that's about all there is to install a set of FMF pipes on your Sierra 450. Pretty simple deal. You can pick them up at RockyMountainATVMC.com.